Hey y'all, my name is Cassie and I am the creator of Pieces of Scrap, and in today's video we're going to be doing another combined market prep and market recap video. So starting out, I have a lot of things that I need to catch up on. I have a yarn order coming in. I have a lot of things that I need to prep that I need to get restocked for my market this Saturday. My market this Saturday is the Peanut Festival. Peanut Festival last year was actually my most profitable market that I went to that year. And that year I had only gone to markets from August until the end of the year. That was my first year doing markets whatsoever. So I'm really excited to go to this market again and see how it does. I doubt it's going to be better than my last market, just because there's less foot traffic than Fair on the Square, and also it's just in a smaller town in general. So there's definitely not going to be as many people there, but I'm sure it will still be a fantastic market. But starting off, I really need to restock some things. I had a customer mention getting more pigs in general in my inventory. I also, a bunch of my best sellers from the last video need to be restocked. So, and then like some of those smaller priced items also need to be restocked. So like my mini Triceratops, Chubby Froggies were my bestseller last time, like #1 bestseller. So I need to restock those. As well as just like keychains and build your own turtles, lots of other things that I need to restock. So let's go ahead and get started in this video, and I will check in with you guys later when I have some progress to show you guys. Hey guys, so I wanted to show you what I've been working on. I wanted to quickly add little emotional support messages to all of my veggies. So here is all of my root veggies. They all say "You're rooted in success," and I think they look really, really cute like that. And then I've got broccoli, I've got corn, I've got shrooms. So let me show you. Here's the corn. They say "Keep popping it." That's really cute. So we've got 2 of those, and then I've got a cauliflower. It says, what does it say? "You're turning heads like cauliflower pizza." Thought that was cute because I had this out at my last market without the note, obviously, and everybody kept thinking it was a mushroom, and I don't know why, but so I think it needed to. Rhea is trying to lay on my tripod right now. Hold on. Thank you. Well, okay. She's here now, so instead of rocking my tripod around, she's just gonna lick my ankles, I guess. But anyway, everybody kept mistaking this as a mushroom. It's a cauliflower. So now we have cauliflower pizza on there so that people are like, oh, it's cauliflower. And then I've got 3 broccoli, and I believe they all say the same thing. They all say "Stay strong and brock on." So that's super cute. And then we've got a whole lot of mushrooms, and I think I have 3 or 4 different messages on my mushrooms. So I'll show you each different one. Ray, you need to sit down. You need to sit down. Mommy's busy. You sit. Oh, sit. Sit. No. She's being so stubborn. Do not get the doorstop. Don't do it. Okay, I had to throw a toy for her to get away. But anyway, I've got 3 of this, which just says "You captivate my heart." So we've got like some pinky, like Valentine's Day looking ones. I know we're nowhere near Valentine's Day, but I'm thinking that, I don't know, some like a couple, like one person in a couple might come by the booth and like want to get a gift for the other. So yeah, that's why I did those. Next up, I have 4 that say "You're sportacular." And we've got a couple different variations here. This one is in velvet. This one is not even actually my pattern. It's Cone Crochet's mushroom pattern. So we've got those 2, and then we've got a green cap And I've got this one, and then I've got 3 more, and they say you have so much room to grow. So that's cute. There's 3 more of those. And then I have 2 more, but I have to fix them because their hole punch was too close to the edge, so it ripped when I put it in the box. But we have 1 more of each of those, 1 more of the Your Sportacular and You Have So Much Room to Grow. So I'll have to make new ones for both of these real quick and replace them. Take the yarn out that's holding them in there and replace them. But that's a bunch of little emotional support veggies, and I think they will be super popular, and I upped the price on them to $10 instead of $8 because they have the little messages on them, and I think that's well worth the price. I know that like on Amazon you can get like a fake crocheted little plushie with messages on it. You can get like a pack of them, but they're all in acrylic yarn. Like getting something like this with the plush yarn that's really soft and cute like this, you'd have to like order it from me, obviously, or like Etsy or anything like that. But yeah, anyway, some people were asking about how I make these little things. This is just with construction paper. I just pick the color that I want, and then I fold the paper until I fold the paper and tear it in half until it's like small enough that it fits here. And then after I do that, I have a hole puncher that I can like see where the hole is going to be placed. So I hole punch the corners so that I can attach it to the plushie. And then I write a little saying on the leftover space there that isn't hole punched. And then when I'm done, I just take some yarn, I insert it back behind the arms and through the hole punch first and then into the arm bobbles so it looks like they're holding it. And I just do that twice, and then I fasten off and tie that yarn off, cut it, and then stuff those ends in. So that's how easy these can be made. You could do them differently. You could laminate them and they might not rip as easily. I don't have a laminator. Like the easiest alternative to not having a laminator, I think, would just be to put like clear packing tape over it on both sides, or maybe even just one side. So after you've written on it, of course, and then it would be a little less easy to rip. The only problem I can see happening with that is that you would have to hole punch after you've laminated it. Otherwise, you would have to cut out the holes of the tape, which might be a little bit difficult. And then because you're hole punching it after you've laminated it and wrote on it, you'd have to make sure that your words are placed really particularly so that they're in the right spot. So as you can see on this one, it's kind of finicky to get those words in the right spot because those notes are so small. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an update on that since I'm doing some final market prepping before Peanut Festival this Saturday, and I have to make quite a few more things, as I mentioned earlier in the video. So I will pop in here and there to give you like little updates about market prep progress. Hey y'all, so I am so excited to show you a few things. So first off, I ordered myself a vlogging camera finally. So I ended up ordering myself a Sony, and it is the ZV-E10 model. So I have this now and I'm actually recording on it now, and I have a couple more things to show you. I ended up buying myself an LED light that go on top of the camera to get better lighting in my videos. I also got several batteries for this camera because it's known to have kind of a lower battery life. I think it's 80 minutes per battery, so I have 3 batteries now, so that should give me plenty of battery life. I ordered myself a case for the camera to go in, so there's plenty of room in here for everything that I need. The camera comes with a little windscreen for the audio, so that when I'm outside or I'm filming anything outside, and I need audio for it, I can use this to make that audio a little clearer, and it's just, everything's really nice. I've been experimenting with it. I was actually so excited when I got it yesterday that I took Rhea, my puppy, outside and we played Frisbee for a little bit, and I got some slow motion shots of her catching the Frisbee, which is really cool. It's like a preset on the camera to have a 4x slow-mo in the video settings, and there's a bunch of other video settings, but I'm super excited to finally have a dedicated vlogging camera, and I don't have to film on my phone constantly, so I can actually hold my phone and like look up things and all sorts of things like that as I film now, which is really cool. And really, I'm going to focus on any like photo content or, you know, Instagram content. I'll be filming that on my phone just because it's a little easier than setting this up, and I can probably set this up to record vertical video. It just might not be super efficient to do it that way. It's kind of better to just use my phone. So yeah, that's really exciting. But anyway, I also wanted to show you guys what I've been market prepping for my market this Saturday and the upcoming Saturday. The last Saturday of this month, I also have a market. But the next market that I have is the Peanut Festival. So here is one of the first things that I've finished crocheting just today. I've been making piggies and overalls because pigs seem to be the most popular thing, and one of the things that my customers actually ask that I make more of. So I've got a piggy in overalls, and I just got a yarn shipment in that I'll show you guys after this because I am basically completely out of pink. This is the only pink color that I have left, and it's more of a peach than a pink. But anyway, I'm going to show you what else I have. One of my best sellers at my last market, if you watched the last video that I put up, was build your own turtles. So I've been in the process of making more bodies, and on these bodies I actually made the eyes a little bit bigger. So we have 4 build your own turtles, and I sell these for $10 each. And then obviously along with the build your own turtles, I have to make shells. So I have all of these shell colors. These are all Floral Bloom by Premier Yarns, and I was just focusing on getting florals because they're the most popular shell colors that get chosen when people buy a build your own turtle, and I don't have any left. I just have solid colors, so I have all of these and they're all tagged. Next up, I made a bunch of chubby froggies. Those were by far my best seller at my last market, so I made quite a few of these as well. So we've got these in this color, this turquoisey minty green color. I actually have 4 of each color. So I have 2 with the grumpy expression, and then there's 2 of the smile expression for each color that I made. But I made just 2 colors. I made this turquoise color, and then I made key lime in Premier Parfait. I've made 4 of these as well, and I have 4 or 3, I can't remember, chubby froggies left from my last market, but they're all in emerald by Premier Yarns, so that was definitely the least popular color, so I just needed to make sure I had extra colors so that there are more options for colors for this market. And then next up, I made some more baby axolotls. This is Crochet by Jenna's free pattern that you can learn how to make on YouTube, and they're $15 each, and I made 5 of them. Next up, I've been meaning to make more mini Triceratops for my markets because I've been perpetually low in stock on them for a while, and I think it's just because most people who buy them, they're all upside down, I'm sorry. Most people that buy them are like little boys, or it's girls getting a present for their brother or something like that. And so all of my boyish colors are gone. All I have left are pinks and purples, I think, of my Triceratops. So I made some more blues and mint green. And then the rest of the stuff in my bin here are keychains. I have so many keychains in here because they were doing really well, and I was like selling out of most of my keychains. All of like the animal keychains that I had were selling out. All of my fruit friends except for one sold out. So I've made a lot now. So I have 5 of each of the pineapple and strawberry fruit friends, and then I have 4 blueberry fruit friends that I made. I have 1 left over from the last market, so that makes 15 total of these guys. I made some more of my bear keychains, so I made 3 total, 2 purple like this one, and then 1 brown because I ran out of brown while I was making them. And then I made a bunch of chicken keychains, and I have so many different colors, and I made so many of them. I have some like chicks that don't have the comb on the top of their head. I have just a bunch of different color options. There's so many, just so that there's a good variety. Chickens seemed really popular. And then I made froggy keychains, so I have a bunch of these as well. So we've got 3 different colors of them, and I think I made 3 of each of them, so I have 9 total. And then I think that's it for my keychains, but I did figure out that if you make the chicken keychain pattern in Bernat, it's like the perfect mini chicken size. So this is the same pattern, it's just in Bernat yarn, so it comes out a lot bigger. As a size comparison, it's like, I don't know, a third bigger or so. So I'm selling these mini chickens for $8 each, and I've made quite a few of them as well. I made them in all sorts of different colors. Yeah, so lots of different colors here, and there's a bunch of them, and I think they will sell very well as well, because chickens just always sell well at markets. And then finally, I have one of these mini chubby dinos that I'm selling for $10 each in the Premier Gumdrop yarn, and I just got a bunch more of that. So let's go ahead and open this big box of yarn now, and I'll do a yarn unboxing and show you everything that I got. And fingers crossed that this box doesn't have damaged yarn in it this time. I did purchase package protection again in case anything happened, but I was also trying to get yarn in 3 of each color so that it would get put in a poly mailer instead of just being put loosely in the box, but we'll see how it went. The box is already kind of wide open on 2 of the sides because of how heavy it was and because of the way that the FedEx delivery guy was carrying the package. So hopefully all is well with the package. Let me just kind of get rearranged here so that we can take a look at what's inside the box. All right, so I got my great big box here. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up, but before that, I wanted to just show you, it's like they were just carrying it by the lip here on the top, so it's like already broken into. So good news so far, it looks like nearly everything in this package is in a poly mail bag. Even if there's just 2 skeins left over in there, they cut it open and left them in those poly bags. So first off, I've got 2 of Smoothie. This is a limited edition Premier Chunky, I almost said flavor color. So I've got 2 of the Smoothie, and it looks like there's no damage to them. I got 2 of the electric lime in the chunky neons. I got 3 skeins of Dusty Mauve, and I'm really excited for this because it makes a really, really good elephant color. So I'm excited to make some more elephants. And then on top of that, I've got more of the rose color, which is the color that I thought this was when I reordered, and I have like a work in progress mini elephant that I have to finish making, so I made sure I got more of this. I've got 2 more skeins of the sea glass color, which I'm sure you saw from all of my market prepping that I've been doing. It's a very popular color of mine. It's also like one of my favorite colors, so 2 more skeins of that. This is the first thing that I've encountered in the box that's been packed in there loosely. It's 2 skeins of shell. Got 3 skeins of teddy bear, which is one of the colors I've been needing. I'm completely out of it. 2 more skeins of cornflower. I was really looking when I ordered this yarn order for Lagoon. It's a really pretty bluish green color, similar to this but more green, that Premier sent me in my last order when I had damage to some of the skeins and they sent me some free skeins in return. Lagoon was one of the colors that I was looking for when I was reordering this time, and I couldn't find it on their catalog. So I wonder if it's like a color they're going to come out with in the future or what, but I was really hoping they have it. They don't have it, so I just got more of this cornflower color instead. All right, and I got 2 skeins of mustard. This is a really cute burnt yellow color. 2 skeins of pale blue. I got 6 skeins of just plain white because every time I order they are out, and I just figured I'd get you know, 2 bags of 3 instead of having it open. I got 2 skeins of Sunshine, which is their darker yellow color instead of the lighter yellow color. I think I like this one more than the lighter yellow. And then I got 3 skeins of Cotton Candy. I think I said earlier that I'm completely out of pinks. The only pink that I have is this peachy pink color, so yeah, a much lighter pink that I think is better for pigs. Okay, and then I got 2 more skeins of light blue. I don't have any light blue left. I do have a lot of blue in my collection of yarn right now, but it's mostly like darker blues, which is like the complete opposite problem that I used to have. I used to have like 1 shade of blue, and now I have a bunch of different shades of blue, but no light blues. So I got more of the pale blue color, and then this is light blue, obviously. And then next up, I also got some black because I haven't really ever ordered black, really. I think I've gotten like 1 skein of it one time, but most of the time, whenever I've ordered black, I've ordered not Premier Parfait Chunky, which creates some yarn sizing issues. So like I have black in Premier Retro Velvet, which is a completely different yarn size, and then in the past I've gotten it in their chenille yarn, which is thicker, like quite a bit thicker. It's like comparable to Bernat blanket yarn. So finally have some of the right size for the products that I mostly make. And then I'm completely out of pumpkin colored yarn, and we're not even halfway through October yet, so I got more tangerine. Now everything else that I have in this box is Premier Gumdrop and Premier Parfait Chunky Fruits. So I've got 2 skeins of the, I believe it's Orange is the shade name for this fruits cake that they have. These are much larger, so it is a little bit more expensive for these, but it's like more than twice the amount of yarn that you typically get in a skein of Premier Parfait Chunky. It is like actually exactly twice as much yarn. It's 7 ounces, whereas you usually get 3.5 ounces per skein. So I got 2 of these. This is the color I was most interested in because it seems a little bit more Halloween-y.
Motion detected at the front door.
Halloween-y. Some of the parts of this skein kind of remind me of candy corn, and let's see, there's like a picture of what, let me turn down the light a little. There's a picture of what the yarn looks like when it's made up in a swatch. So anyway, I got 2 skeins of that. And then the rest of this is Gumdrop, and I got it in so many different colors. They have so many different colorways of this Gumdrop cake, and I got it in a bunch of different colors, obviously. So I've got 2 here. This is the color Sweet Pea. I've got 2 in the color Surfside. This one I got last time as well. This one, I did a reorder of this one as well. This is Confetti. I've got 2 skeins of that. This one is a new one I haven't gotten before. This is the shade name Popsicle, and it's like, it's got some colors in it that aren't in the other shades that I just showed you. Then I got 2 of Sunshine, but it's really interesting looking at this top down. It looks like there is a lot more orange in this one, and this one has a lot more yellow, so that's really interesting. They're the same shade name, unless they got mislabeled somehow, but it looks like they're pretty identical, except there's just more colors in one of the other. I'm gonna look at the other skeins now and see if that's like the same kind of thing with the others as well, if you get more of one color than the other. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. So I'm looking at Sweet Pea now. You can definitely see there's more mint green in this one than there is in this one. It actually ends with mint green on the outside, where this one ends with like the purpley color on the outside and starts with the pink in the middle. So that's definitely interesting. And it kind of looks like it's just like seeping out the top of the cake in the middle, but it's not. It's the same on the other side as well. So there's just a lot more mint green in this one. And then this cake, these are the confetti cakes. It looks like it's the same thing. You get different amounts of colors of each of these as well. So it's gotta be on purpose that that happens. And I wonder if that is noted when you purchase the yarn, and like the description of the yarn, if it tells you like there's varying amounts of each color depending on your skein that you end up getting. So that's something I didn't notice the first time because I didn't get more than one skein of any color, whereas this time I got multiple skeins of the same color. Hey guys, so I wanted to show you really quickly, I'm looking at Premier's website and it looks like there isn't any disclaimer on the listing that says that there's varying amounts of the different striping colors on the listing, but there is pictures of different swatches and they're not identical on each one, so there's two different possibilities of what your swatch could look like. So maybe that's the way that they're disclaiming that you could possibly get different varying amounts of each color in the skein that you purchase. And then I have one more colorway of this same gumdrop. This is the colorway Blueberry, and as you can see, it's got a bunch of different pretty blues in it. So I've got a lot of yarn here that I got to sort through and put in my yarn shelf and get ready to maybe prep some more mini chubby dinos tonight, because those were definitely selling really fast last time, and I think it's mostly because of this very pretty variated speckled colorway that these gumdrop skeins give you. So anyway, I'm going to unpack all of these, get them out of their plastic packaging, put up in my yarn shelf, and get myself sorted for tomorrow. My market's tomorrow. Hey guys, so it's been half a week since my market. My market was last Saturday. It is currently Wednesday. I'm getting a little bit of like me time in, personal time, just to kind of relax, because I feel like having these markets back to back, I haven't been able to like keep up with house chores. So Sunday, or actually Monday was Columbus Day, and I had the day off of my full-time job, and so I took that entire day to just like deep clean my house. I haven't had an opportunity to clean my house for probably a month at this point, so I finally got around to doing that. I didn't get everything done that I wanted to get done, but I'm still trying to get caught up on a lot of things. But anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're here for market recapping. So the Peanut Festival was a great market again. I forgot how dusty this event is. When I left the event, every tote I had, every box I had, my tablecloths, all my displays, they were covered in sand from just the lot that you set up in. And because of that, when I was reconciling my inventory, I had to like wipe down all my totes with like wet paper towels and just make sure everything was clean. I was in the same spot that I had last time, which was awesome. But 2 booths down from me was last year where a different smaller crocheter was. She wasn't there this year. However, there was a 3D printed like toy booth there. And at the end of the market, when my immediate neighbor to that side started breaking down, I was finally able to see that they were selling some crocheted products, but they were all made with acrylic yarn. So that's the big difference between my products and theirs, definitely, was just that they were selling probably crochet plushies that probably took a little bit more time because they're made with acrylic yarn, which is much smaller than the chenille yarn that I work with, but also it's like not as nice to like hold and cuddle with. So I think that's why my booth was ultimately more popular, not only because they had in my opinion, lesser quality crochet products than I did, but they were also mostly selling 3D printed items, which definitely helped me a lot. I'm pretty sure I was the only crochet booth at this market, which was really awesome. I really wanted to get some footage at this market, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't try to at any point take out my camera because of how dusty the event was. I'm sure my brand new camera would have gotten very dusty and grimy and gross from all of the dust that was blowing constantly. Like, seriously guys, I left this event, took a shower, and in the shower I was like blowing my nose, and the snot that was coming out of my nose was black. That's how dusty this event was, and I was just like inhaling that dust the whole event. And I always leave the Peanut Festival, and I know this now, it's the second year I can say that, just feeling like really grimy and congested because of all of that dust and sand and grime that I have to inhale through the entire event, just because of how full the lot is of just like sand and not really much grass at all. Some really cool things about this market was we were able to bring Rhea, our puppy, our border collie puppy, for the first half of the event, and she did pretty well. My husband had to walk her around a couple times just to keep her energy level a little bit lower than it was when we got there. She was definitely extremely excited. It's definitely a huge difference between the first time we've taken her to an event and this time, which we've only taken her to 2 events now. And the first event, she was much smaller, like probably a third of the size that she is now. So that was much easier to contain than it was at this event. She was just a lot to think about and try to keep paying attention to. And we also have an older dog at home. His name is Colt, and we knew that we couldn't bring him to the event because he just would have been miserable the whole time. He's a Shiba Inu, and he has a much thicker coat. Just think of like a miniature husky if you're not familiar with the breed. But he would have been miserable at this event, and we definitely didn't want to try that with him. So we left him at home with the plan that halfway through the event, like a little bit before or after lunchtime, my husband would take Rhea home and then also check on him and hang out with him for a little bit. So we did do that, and I'm really glad that he did because I wouldn't have been able to take care of Rhea on my own at this event. She was like constantly like moving my totes around. She'd like lay against one of my totes under the table and like shift the whole thing backwards, so then it was sticking out the front of the tablecloth. And she also wanted to dig in the dirt a lot, so she was like kicking up dirt and dust onto the rug that we had underneath our table. And overall, she was just a handful. It was hard to keep her entertained, and at the same time, it was just like, if I had to take care of her by myself, I'm not sure I would have been able to make sure she didn't knock something over or jump up on the table or anything like that. Like, she's still a puppy. She's like 6 months old, so it's still a bit of a learning curve with her and getting her comfortable enough that she knows like, okay, I need to sit down and lay down and stay and not bark at people. Yeah, something else that we noticed, my husband noticed this as she walked around, was she doesn't like when people are wearing hats. Like, she will bark at people if they're wearing a hat. Not sure why that is, if she maybe thinks like something's wrong with their head, and I don't know, but that was something funny about the event that we realized. Anyway, I want to go into my best sellers from this event. I will tell you right off the bat, I didn't have any losses when I reconciled my inventory, which is always awesome. That's like one of the first events I think that I haven't really had any losses, and I'm just so happy about that. I have a feeling it's just because it's a smaller event and people are a lot more honest and less likely to actually steal something from you. But I think also my booth setup made it kind of hard for people to even think about stealing, which is always awesome. But anyway, into the best sellers, I'm gonna start from 4th place into 1st place. And the reason it's 4th place to 1st place instead of 6th place to 1st place like last time is because I had so many items tied for 4th place at this market. And also, I just want to note before I get into my best sellers is a lot of the items that were sold were like unique one-of-a-kind items, or items that I just had like a limited inventory of. So those did really well. Like, for example, like giraffes did very well, brontosaurs did very well, cow, like a jumbo cow did really well. Lots of like one-of-a-kind items that I only had one in the inventory, or I had like 3 in the inventory total. Baby axolotls did really well, which is obvious to everybody. Everybody loves axolotls. So yeah, all of those things I wanted to give honorable mentions for, but they are not in my tier list because there was only 1 or 2 of those things in my inventory to begin with. But anyway, starting at 4th place, we have a 4-way tie. So let me get those items out and then I'll talk a little bit about them. All right, so starting out in 4th place, I have 4 items like I was saying, and I'm going to show you each one of them to you one at a time. All of these things I sold 3 of total at this market, so not a really high bar to go off of, but like I was saying, I was selling a lot of like one-of-a-kind items, so I was still getting a lot of sales, just like not of the same thing. But anyway, first thing is my mini octos, and I had these in a bunch of different colors. I have 4 colors left, but I'm pretty sure I had like 5 color options. So I was selling each of these little guys for $8 each, and I had them set up on my table, like one of each color that I had available, around my wire basket that was holding my mini whales that also sold for $8 each. So these were really popular. I think it's just a good value for the size compared to the other $8 items that I sold. And also just mini octos in general are really popular. People really, really like them, some mini octos, and you can get them in so many different colors. So if you're looking for a pattern that might sell well at your markets that you can sell for cheap, definitely check out this pattern. This is a free pattern that I found on Instagram, and I will link it on the screen for you guys. All right, guys, I just wanted to set up like a little tiered stand in the background that kind of looks like one of the like Olympics winners tiered stands, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I put the octos back there. Next up is mini otters. I was selling mini otters for $10 each. This is also a free pattern that you can get on Instagram. And what was different about this market and all of the markets prior that I was selling mini otters is I only put 2 out at a time, just in each color that I had available. In prior markets, I think I just put out as many as I could on the table of both colors. And I think the difference at this market was just that when people see one item in the color that they want available, they might feel more pressed to buy it just because they might feel like it will sell out and they won't have an opportunity to buy it later. So that's why I only had 1 of each color out on my table, and I sold 3 total of these mini otters. So that is quite a step up from how they normally do. They normally don't sell really at all. So next up, that sold in 4th place with 3 sales total was my mini jellyfish. These I was selling for $15 each, and I had them in a bunch of different color combinations. It seemed like the ones that have lighter colored caps or like pink or purple in them were doing much better. So I have like these ones left, and those, they mostly just have like blues in their tentacles. And yeah, so I think I'll need to make some more of these guys with pinks and purples and stuff like that. They were doing really well with girls. And so yeah, I'll have to make sure that I make some more of those before the next market. All right, and then the last thing that was doing really, really well in 4th place was my snoozing birds. I had these in flamingos and mallards. I had one swan at my first market, but I sold it right away. So people really, really love this pattern. They love how it looks like he's sleeping and kind of like he's like a dead bird too. I get a lot of people like snickering and laughing, and they also just think it's so adorable the way that its head just kind of like flops over and it just looks like it's always sleeping. These are really awesome if you're trying to direct people in your booth, if you hear them talking about like getting a gift for a new baby or anything of that sort, a grandkid, something like that. A lot of mothers and grandmothers and expecting parents really gravitate towards these, and they should, because there's no safety eyes, less of a choking hazard, and they're just overall really cute little snugglers that can go in a crib and just really comfort a baby. So I like nearly everybody that was coming to my booth wanted to pick up one of these, specifically the mallards. So I will definitely be making more mallards. This is the last one that I have left. So if you're looking for a bestseller, everybody, like almost everybody coming to my booth picked one of these guys up and was like looking at it and considering purchasing it. And nearly every time that I set these out on the table, they get sold out so quickly, and I always have to think about restocking them before the next event. I sell them for $25 each. It's a no-sew pattern by Crochet, another free pattern that you can get on Instagram, and I've reviewed it in a video before, so if you want to hear my opinion about like the pattern itself and the way that it's written and what I rate it, make sure you check out my free pattern review video that features this guy. I'll make sure that it's clipped on screen somewhere if you want to watch that. All right, so then in third place, I had a tie between two items that sold for each. So first up is the Lovies, and these are patterns that I got from the Mama Made Minis Knotted Lovies amigurumi book. It's not a free pattern that's available or anything like that. I think the only way that you can get the pattern is if you've purchased the physical book. I'm not sure if she sells digital books or not, but there's a physical book where you can get these patterns, and I had one of each of them to start before this market and my prior market. My prior market, I believe I sold 7 of them, and then this market I sold 4 of them, so they're definitely really popular, and as well as being baby friendly, and they don't have any like safety eyes or pieces that can become a choking hazard, and you don't really have to stuff them very much. These I only stuffed because the pattern designer typically makes them in Bernat blanket, which is a bit thicker than Premier Parfait Chunky, which is what I'm using here. So I just stuffed it a little bit to get that effect of just being a little bit chunkier and a little bit bigger than it normally would be if you didn't stuff Premier Parfait Chunky at all. I saw a lot of comments in my market prep video where I showed you each of them, talking about how you're not supposed to stuff them. I know that. I just did it because of what I just said. I just wanted it to look a little bit chunkier. Of course, you don't have to stuff it if you don't want to. And I also, in that video, had safety eyes in all of them, but I obviously went back and took out the safety eyes on all of them and replaced them with embroidered eyes. I have 6 of these left, so I might have to prep a little bit more before Christmas in Crockett, because they will definitely be a good seller there as well. So yeah, make sure you check out some Lovey patterns if you're looking for another great seller for your markets. All right, also tied for third place was my Fruit Friends keychains, and these also did really well at my last market as well. I believe they were ranked pretty high up there as well, but this time I have some of each left over. I prepped a bunch of these, as you saw earlier in this video, for this market. I only had 1 blueberry left at the end of Fair on the Square, so I made enough so that I had 15 total, 5 of each of them. For this market, and I noticed right off the bat that strawberries are so much more popular than the blueberries or pineapples. Pineapples were definitely doing better at the last market, but not many people really care for the blueberry, which I kind of understand. If I were to pick a fruit, I'd probably pick a strawberry or a pineapple. So yeah, I sold these guys for $5 each, and I sold 4 total. I don't know which ones I sold most of, but blueberries is definitely the least popular. All right, next up in second place are the frog keychains. These I sold 5 of total, and I came to the market with 9 of them, 3 in each of the colors. I'm completely sold out of one of the colors. That color was Key Lime by Premier Parfait Chunky, so that's that like pretty light green that people love frogs in. So I have these 2 colors left over, and I have 4 left over total, and I was selling these $5 each. I have different colored eyes in each of them, and I started to run out of my circular sparkly eyes, so these are like flat sparkly eyes that I started putting on there. Focus, please. Focus. There we go. Now you can see it a little bit better. So yeah. All of them were a little bit different from each other, and they were doing so well. People really loved the frog keychains. This is another free pattern that you can get on Instagram, and so is the Fruit Friends keychains, if you don't remember from my last video. But anyway, they're both free patterns, both no-sew, so definitely check these out if you're interested in some more keychain patterns. All right, and then finally, we have another tie for first place, and no surprise at all, we have Chubby Froggies ranked first again. I made some more in this turquoise color, or emerald, I can't remember the name of this shade name. I think it might have been sea glass color, and I had these left over from the last market. I don't even think a single one of these sold in the emerald color. People are just not a fan of the emerald color for frogs, I guess, but they really like that key lime color, like I was saying, like the keychains. So if you're prepping froggies, make sure you have a bunch of the key lime color, and I was selling these for $8 each as well, and I had different expressions on them. So you can see right here I've got like a grumpy expression and then a smiley expression. So yeah. All right, and then to finish up our first tier tie is our very newly added item, the mini chicken. This pattern is literally just my chicken keychain pattern, not my pattern, but the pattern that I use for my chicken keychains. It's free, it's available on Instagram if you want to make some of your own, and I just make it in Bernat blanket instead of Premier Parfait, and it comes out in like the perfect size to sell at the $8 range for to just have some mini chickens. I figured this would be really popular just because it's like just a mini Mabel chicken, and people really loved it, and I sold 6 of these as well. So we did really well for all of our tier list having a bunch of ties in it. That's amazing, and it really shows you how much people really value variety, and they don't come to your booth just to buy one kind of item. They're really coming to like search for really things that will fit their fancy and meet their needs. And Mabel chickens are never a surprise, frogs are never a surprise, but like as you can see behind me, there is so much variety in products that people were really wanting to purchase from my market. And so that's why I really recommend that if you're prepping for a market, just make sure you are don't just put all your eggs into like making Mabel chickens, leggy froggies. Like as you can see behind me, leggy froggies weren't even popular at this market. And they weren't super popular at my last market either, but they did make the tier list. But make sure you're just trying new patterns. Like maybe if you're just not feeling like cranking out as much as you can of one pattern, try some different patterns, and you might find somebody who just like absolutely loves that one thing and will buy it from you because like they've never seen that before. That's why I really enjoy making my free pattern review videos. It gives me a lot of variety to sell at my markets, and sometimes you might find like a dud pattern that you don't really like how it turned out, but most of the time somebody else will like that product if you don't. And like there's so much so many free patterns to offer you on Instagram. You can find them on people's blogs and so on and so forth. So just don't put all your eggs into one basket. Try to make as much variety as possible, and you'll have a really cool bestsellers list like I do that is just like super cool, and like there's lots of variety in it. All right, I'm getting a little sweaty. I'm getting hot. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about the results of my market now. We talked about bestsellers, we talked about losses, we talked about like general insights and how the market went, in my opinion. But now I want to talk to you guys about some numbers. So leaving the market, I had a gross sale of $1,342. After taxes, card fees, booth fees, and the cost of my materials, that all combined was $377.90, which makes my net sales $964.10, which is really cool. And it's really fascinating to me because when I left this market last year, I think I had just around $1,000 in gross sales, which was really exciting for me. But when I was looking at my spreadsheet and just kind of like reviewing it for my purposes to see how much better I did compared to last year, my gross sales last year at the Peanut Festival was $942, and my net sales was $622.42. So I did really well, but I didn't do as well as I remembered. So that is really cool to me because that shows me that I did $300 more than I did last year at this same event. I did have a lot less competition at this event. I think last year there were 1 or 2 other crochet booths. So that really shows me that I am able to make a lot of money at this event. People are less likely to come to this event and be direct competition with me, and people really enjoy my products and look forward to seeing me at these markets. There were a lot of return customers that recognized me from last year, and so yeah, that's why I'm really excited about my results from this market, and I'm really excited to continue to go to this market in the future. It's a nice, like, refreshing event where I don't have to worry too much about like it being too crazy and having to stand up the whole time, but I still get a lot of business at this market, and it is definitely worth my time. So anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm really happy that I'm able to share this information with you guys and hopefully help you at your own markets and market prepping for yourself, so that you have a little bit more insight if this is like your first time doing this, to like what you should be prepping and like what you should expect, and maybe like some tips and tricks along the way that I just learned from my own experience and my own mistakes, so that you can do better at your events in the future. And anyway, if you liked this video, make sure you hit that like button, comment down below what you're working on, if you're working on plushies for events, or if you're just working on plushies in general just for a hobby purpose, or whatever you're doing. I'd be happy to hear from you. And if you have any insights of your own, or if you see somebody commenting down below about their experiences at markets or having any questions, just let's be really friendly and support this really great community that we have, the crochet community, and help each other grow in our business so that we can do better at our own markets and just continue getting better and better. And with that being said, if you enjoy my content and you want to see more in the future, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.